So tomorrow we're gonna do a big live session where we go over questions. So if you are on TikTok or Instagram, the best thing to do now is probably go follow the YouTube channel so you you know when we go live tomorrow so we can answer your questions. So let's see functions, transformations, and what else that you guys asked about. Um, okay, proof geometry. So the person who asked about geometry, Jada, you'd probably have to tell me something specific that you want to prove for, you know, um, like a specific theorem, a specific topic that you want to prove for, because it's very, it's kind of vague. If I have what you want me to prove, I'll help you with that. So okay. Thank you, Bucket. All right, domain and range. All right, so what time? We go live tomorrow answering the questions. Around 8:30, 8:45. I would say 9 the latest. By 9 I should be live. So unit rate cross multiplication. I think I take that question already. Unit rate cross multiply product. Uh can you make it 8:30? Please, my quiz is at 11. Um yeah, so around 8:30, 8:45. So PM, not AM. No, not AM. Are you married? I'm not married. Not AM, PM. Eastern time. So Eastern time means like right now it's 10:04 Eastern time. So New York Times if you want to take it that way. I feel like I'm missing some of the questions. Working with sets, guys. Please be a little bit more specifics because uh, it's gonna be easier for me to know what question to answer. Um, okay, multi-step inequality, and please post answers on YouTube. So yeah, so when we when we solve something on here, it's on YouTube, it's on the YouTube live, but it also stays on there, so it's not, I don't delete it. The only thing that you probably won't see it on TikTok, because when you see the live session on TikTok, that's the only time you'll be able to see it. But on YouTube, you'll be able to see it, the recordings of it. So I normally leave the recording up. I have the past one, so if you want to go and look at them, you'll see. I should do workout video. uh, I had I think I started another channel for that, especially during the quarantine. But I didn't really post much videos on there. I probably have like 5 or 10 on there. I don't even think it's 10. But yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate you. I am an algebra one as well. Okay, perpendicular bisector theorem. Okay, so that's for the, I think that's for the geometry proof. So are you referring to uh I hope you're not referring to this as the two parallel lines and a transversal. So let's see, perpendicular bisector theorem. All right, well, we can talk about that. Now, the thing is, we'll start around 8:30, 8:45. As long as, so the questions will be kind of like first come, first serve, but also what I'll do is, if I if I want to start talking about a question, if there is a lot of people who want to see it at that time, I'll do it. But if not, we're gonna move on to the next question. So that way, make sure if you want your question to be served first, just make sure that you there during that time, because there's no point of talking about calculus three when no one is in here is in calculus three, or geometry when no one here is in geometry. So perpendicular bisector theorem. Okay, perpendicular bisector theorem. Okay. What else that you guys want to see? Uh, math question you didn't do now. Henry, if you would If you tell me what it's about, we can talk about it tomorrow. Uh, it's this is probably not meant to help you. Um, it's meant to help you with your homework, but not doing it for you. Does that make if that makes any sense? So if you tell me what it's about, I can give you an example very similar to it, and then that way that you'll be able to solve for it based on what I tell you. But I won't be going and solve it for you directly. If that makes any sense. Uh, appreciate it. I need help. SAT math problem. Yeah, if you tell me what it's about, I could talk about it tomorrow and help you that way. Jada, you mean find an equation of a perpendicular bisector. Okay, let me put equation here just in case. Um, okay, could you go over any algebra two things, please? I haven't learned anything. Uh, you got to be a little bit more specific than that. Give me what you want me to talk about. What is it that you're learning in your class right now that you want to talk about? So if you tell me that, and then I'll put it here, and then we'll talk about it tomorrow, if that makes any sense. Uh, no bucket. I'm not married. In class. Okay, go over geometry. You guys got to be more specific than that. There's a lot of topic in geometry. Yeah, so it's around 8:30, 8:45. Mm, okay. Algebra 2. Give me what you guys want to talk about specifically, because there's a lot of topic in algebra 2. If you wanna talk about how to solve um if you want to talk about if you want me to talk about how to solve, you know, equations with two or three unknowns, system of inequality, system of equations. We can talk about that, but you have to be specific so I know exactly what you want me to talk about. I have a test tomorrow. How should I study for it? If it depends on what time your test is. If it's in the morning, it's 10 o'clock. Now I would get some sleep. And now if it's tomorrow afternoon and you have time to study, um, the best thing is probably to review, I would say. And it depends, like this is how I used to do it myself. Like let's say if I wasn't really studying a whole lot, I would go over the notes, and most of the time you'll find that whatever your teacher talks about in class is some of that is in the note, and some of that end up in the test. And it's probably not the best time right now for you to pick up a book and say, hey, let me go from page 1 to page 100. You may not be able to help. That may not be helpful at this time because you have less than 24 hours. So what I would go over the notes, and if you paid attention and you go over the notes, some of the stuff that you see in there, and if they have a test review too, if you have a review, just trying to do that. Um, it's not a whole lot you can do when there's 24 hours left. So that's all. And it's not. It's like that with math and almost anything else you can think of. You have to stay on top of it. Otherwise, it's just you'll get lost. You won't be able to follow what the person is saying. And now when you have a test that's coming up in the next day, it's gonna be harder for you to be able to pass it because it's not um, you won't have enough time to study. All right, cool. So let's see. Derivatives. Okay, I think I have derivatives here in calculus. I think I have that in here. Somebody specifically asked about derivative of natural log function. Okay, we'll talk about derivatives in general. Let me put that next to this one. Um, and was it you who asked about derivatives in calculus? Let me see if that was you. And natural log functions? No, it wasn't you. Okay, so I'll put derivatives here. Derivatives. So we'll talk about those tomorrow for calculus. I got calculus. Yes. Okay. So now, to be more specific, you could, um, are you do you want, for derivative? Do you want derivatives of like quadratic functions? Do you want? I know we're gonna do ln and e to the x. We're gonna do derivatives of those functions, but do you want, trig functions? There are derivatives for those. Do you want, um, rational functions? So do you want derivatives of those as well? Square root, there's derivatives for those functions. So do you want those as well? Or do you want, is there something more specific? We can talk about all of them in general. But if you have something more specific, that's probably going to be helpful. But we'll talk about all of them in general. All the ones that I can think of, especially ln and e to the x. Can you teach chemistry or any science subject? No, I used to. Actually, I started tutoring chemistry, but I tell you, I don't remember most of the stuff that's in uh, in chemistry now. I could probably balance in equations, but that's about it. Can you go over topic AP calculus AB? It's Ilya. You have to be more Morgan. You have to be more specific for me to be able to give you like an example. I can talk about certain topics that end up in that in AB calculus, but it won't. It's probably not what you want. So give me a specific question. Just like this person say, hey, let's talk about derivative of ln function and e to the x function. So that's specific. Let me give you another one. This person say, hey, I want to find out how to take the inverse of a function. That's very specific. So you're gonna give them. We're gonna go over a bunch of functions. Well, it's trying to take the inverse of them. Quadratic formula. That's a specific question. Instead of asking for, hey, algebra two, the person asked for quadratic formula specifically. So that's what I was saying. Trig fourth with factoring. Okay. I think I know a cool one that I might teach you. Uh, if I remember, if you dare, if you there tomorrow, bridge, let me know. Trig for factoring. Um, so we can do. I think we'll probably do. We'll probably do some. Go over the easy ones that you can recognize, and do some hard ones. Uh, but you gotta show up live because it's like first come first serve. So if you're not there, I need a lot of help with pre-calc overall self thought since my teacher struggled to teach me. Okay, uh, Michaela, give me a topic that you want me to talk about tomorrow, and I help you. Trick with factoring. Okay, guys, quit speaking my question. D-O Fantine equation. Off the top of my head, I don't remember ever seeing that, but I'm gonna see. I'm gonna look it up and see what it is, and see if that's something that I know. Um, because I don't remember ever seeing that in any class. Is what math class are you taking? A mag. All right. Derivative. I think that's all the questions. It's finding distance between parallel lines, and I understand the topic, but there is only one problem. Henry, I can't do. It's finding distance between parallel lines. Finding distance between parallel lines. Distance between parallel lines. Between parallel lines. Okay. All right. Cool. So I think I answered all. I have all the questions that you guys want to see. Uh, yes, I put that in there. Inequality notation. I think it's called. Okay, Michaela. Inequality notation. Okay, I will. Inequality notation. Notation. Okay. Finding find an equation of a tangent line. Yes. That's a good one. Finding equation of a tangent line. Equation of a tangent line. Okay. That's a lot. Okay. Now I think that's enough for it probably do you go over the math and physics? It depends what formula it is. Some of I would have to go. I would have to go look at them. I haven't looked at any physics stuff in a while. Um, I would have to go look at it. Some of the questions it might be easy enough where you're solving for a variable. I could show you how to do that, but to sit down and tell you what explaining this theorem and where this formula is coming from, I probably will have to go over it to see with cosine and sine and all that mess. Okay, Michaela, let me see. Finding is it? Oh, go over the math and physics with cosine and sine. Oh, okay. Now I see what you're saying. I don't know. HM. I don't remember ever seeing that, but I can look it up and see if that's something simple that I can explain to you. I don't remember ever seeing it at all in school. Uh, but again, you're doing astro engineering. That's not a field that I'm even familiar with. So if it's like if you're taking courses that are annual, if you're taking your upper level courses, they may be doing something that I have no idea what they are, and that's probably specific to your field. But if it's simple math that I'll look it up and see if that's something that I can explain to you. I have a question about the SAT. I'm taking November 7th. How many hours a week should I put in? Uh, Differential calculus. I think I have that in there. Differential calculus. The net, DNet. I think I have that in there. Differential calculus. Let's see. Differential calculus. Yeah, I think I have that in there from last week, but I'll put it back again. I thought I did differential calculus. Maybe not. All right, I'll put that in there, DNet. Um, differential calculus. This is not how to spell calculus. Calculus. Okay. Somebody asked about taking the SAT November 7th, and she wanted to know how many hours she would put in. Uh, I used to now. This may not be specific to your case, but I used to study for a bunch of upper level exams, and normally what they would tell me is for every 100 hours of the test, you should spend. I mean, for every hour of the test, you should spend 100 hours studying. Um, so like if the test is 1 hour, you spend 100 hours studying. If it's 2 hours, you spend 200 hours studying. I mean, I find that that was a very general case, but it wouldn't work for me because I ended up studying way more than that, probably like four or five times more to be able to pass. Because usually it's that hard. Uh, I would say it depends how familiar you are with math. I'm going to answer the math specifically. It depends how familiar you are with the topic. Now, November 7th is a few days away. So what I would do, I think I gave that suggestion to somebody before. If you are that close to the exam, what I would do is just focus on the stuff that you're already good at. So let's say that you really good at writing. I would focus on scoring high on those because on the ACT and the SAT, what's really important is like the composite score. Now SAT is a little bit different. They look at reading and then math. Uh, but if you want a decent score, you can't at about 17, 18 days away. You can't really go and start studying things. Start something that you have no idea how to that, let's say you're not really that good at science, but you decent at math. I would focus on that and trying to maximize that score because it's so close where you can actually maximize the score because you already know some stuff about it. But the things that you don't have no idea how to do, um it's not enough time to study enough for it to make a really good score. For me, it wouldn't be. I don't know how you study. For me, it wouldn't. 17 days wouldn't be enough time for me to study for it. So if I was in your case, what I would do is trying to see how I can get an 800 on math portion on the math sessions. Just focus on that and the other stuff because they're really considering your composite score. It's if they're considering that score, the aggregate, the average, wherever you're going. If your math at 800 and your reading is subpar like at 500, composite, like in aggregate, it gives you a different score. A score that's higher than 500 but lower than 800. But it's also considered a little bit better than just a 500. Um, I would focus on the stuff that I'm good at now for 17 days and trying to get as high of a grade in that as possible. And and the other stuff, not that I would just totally ignore it, but if I spent 2 hours studying for math, I would spend about an hour studying for the other stuff just because it's on the test too. Uh, but the stuff that you're really good at, I would just focus on them and get. I would say the topic. I would say if you really good at math, I would focus on that and then get as much as high of a score in there as possible. The other thing about those is you can take them again. So if this time doesn't go well, just take it again, and just um, become familiar with it. Now it's not. I don't think you have enough time to go from A to Z, but I think you have enough time, just enough time to be able to be really to be really good at the topic that you're really good at. Does that make sense, Morgan? I think you don't want to ask the question. Let's see. Inverse trig derivative. Okay. All right. I'll put that in there. Inverse trig derivative. Inverse trig derivative. I hope you don't mean anagrams derivatives. Okay. I'll look at those. No problem, Morgan. Good luck on the 7th. And let us know how it goes. Because that will be good. Let's see. Uh due Tuesday, and it's assigned to us on Friday. I also have a lot of homework. All right, cool. Okay, how to solve equation with variables on both sides. All right, we'll do that too. Put calculus quick tomorrow, please. Pray for Bridge, guys. She got to he or she got to pre-calculus quiz tomorrow. All right. Equation with variable on both sides. I think this is the last question we're gonna take, guys. Equation with variable on both sides. With variables on both sides. Those on both sides. Okay, so I think we have probably about 20, 25 topics here that we're going to talk about tomorrow. So this is how we're going to do it. So when I come in tomorrow, the first thing I'm going to do is go in and call out a topic and see if there is enough interest for it. If there is not, we're going to move on to the next one, and then we can go over them. So I'm going to try to do topics from each class. For geometry, algebra 1, algebra 2, calculus, pre-calculus, trig. So I'm going to try to do topics from each class, and then when we call out the topic, if you're not, if the person who asked the question is not there, we're going to move on to the next one, but we may come back to it later on. So this well, but finding a variable that makes two perpendicular lines. Henry, I'm not sure what you're asking. Can't explain this well. Okay, but finding a variable that makes two perpendicular line. Okay. Henry, I'm not sure what you're asking. Honest pre-calculus started off strong. My grades have been getting lower. Abby, what's going on? Did you go from okay. Derivatives of graph. The derivatives of graph. Okay. Derivatives of graph. All right, cool. I think this is all the questions, guys. And honestly, we probably won't go over all of them tomorrow, but we'll do the most common ones, and um, I'll look them up and see derivatives of graph. What time? Between 8:30 and 8:45. I will be live before 9 o'clock. That's for sure. But I want to say between 8:30 Eastern time and 8:45. Derivatives of graph. Derivative of graph. Well, they'll come tomorrow. Normally I would do them on Tuesdays, but I didn't get to answer to look up all the questions for you guys. So I added some more, and then we'll do them tomorrow. 2 point get 2 points from each line, and you need to find a slope and then change it to make it a perpendicular. Okay. Uh okay. This sounds like a specific question. Yeah, Henry, it sounds like a specific question. So, uh, that's more conceptual thing, but I'm confused on it. What is it? What is it? Henry, I think a question like that on the PSAT. If I could find, if you guys could find a question, and then maybe comment it comment the question on maybe on a post, the every last post. This is what I would do, Henry. Try to comment the question on the last post on here, and then I will try to see if I can find something similar on there. Because otherwise, I don't. I mean, I don't think I'll be able to help you like that. So yeah. So comment the question on one of the posts, like the last post that I have on this page, and then I'll look it up. So is the live tomorrow? Yes. Yes, it's tomorrow around 8:30 New York time or Eastern time. Yes, comment and put a comment on the post, because this will go away and I won't be able to see it. So what I'll do is probably just Google it and see what comes up, what kind of questions comes up, and then I'll be able to see if I can answer it, explain something to that. So whatever you have on your, I can't explain it well with characters and limits. You can just type it. You can just type it, comment it. So let's say if it says, two parallel lines, and I'll trust me. If you comment it, I'll find a question that's similar to it. I can't remember that question. I think I got it wrong. Okay, all right, guys. I think this is it. So we're gonna be live on YouTube. Make sure y'all follow the YouTube channel because otherwise, this TikTok sometimes it goes it either crash or I they end up telling me that I violate some kinds of stuff. So I would go on the page and follow the YouTube channel, and then when we go live on there, you'll be able to see it, and that's the easiest thing to do. And I will see you guys around 8:30, 8:45 tomorrow. And I think this is it for tonight. Thank you all. Let me see. I don't currently do physics. Turning log into exponential, vice versa. Okay, I'm gonna write this down for you. Turning log into exponential. Log into exponential, vice versa. Vice versa. I forgot to check my my YouTube comments. All right, the boss. I will find. I will. I will. I will. I'll go over it tomorrow. Uh, so make sure you guys show up live, and if you're not, if you're not live, if you're not following the YouTube channel, just go in there. Go ahead and follow it, because otherwise you won't be able to see what's on there when we go live tomorrow. All right, thank you guys, and I think this is it, and that's it.